Grizzly is a 1976 horror thriller from director William Girdler. The movie opens with a helicopter pilot flying over a state park. He's explaining how the government's been taking land away, and it's upsetting the wildlife. I sure hope this doesn't piss off a giant bear or anything. This music doesn't sound like what you would expect from a giant killer bear movie. Welcome to Generic National Park. Everyone's getting supplies at the park trading post. Yeah, I could smoke weed out of this. Park Ranger Kelly is having a meeting with his rangers. They have an abnormally high amount of campers for the season, and not nearly enough rangers. Kelly goes to pick up photographer Allison. He's been taking her around so she can take pictures for a magazine or something. Over in the woods, two girls are headed back to camp. That is a really unfortunate place for a red patch. Great job leaving the fire unattended while you go for a walk.
June?
It's me, Smokey. I'm tired of warning you people about forest fires.
The bear chases the other girl into a cabin. Oh good, this 2-inch balsa wood shed should protect me from the gigantic bear. Allison's talking to Kelly.
Remember, every face tells a story.
Oh, yeah? What story does this face tell you?
It says we need to find a bathroom. Kelly and one of the other rangers goes looking for the missing girls. Kelly checks out the shack and finds the dead girl. He calls in the rangers to look for the body of the missing camper. I wonder who's going to find the other body. The dozens of trained park rangers, or Allison, by accident. And how did they miss this? It's like 10 feet away from base camp. Kelly's confronted by Park Supervisor Kittredge, who tells him he wants a full investigation on why the bear killed those girls. Because it's a bear? They announce there's a killer bear in the woods, and everyone exits. Camp has come running for the rich taste of Dinty Maw stew. Kelly contacts Scotty, the nature survivalist.
No! No!
Don't complain because you forgot to put your phone on silent. Scotty is angry at Kelly for calling him in the field.
I had a whole family of deer up here. I've been following them, living with them, and you scared them off.
I was about to mate with the female, but now they know I'm human. He tells Scotty to come down to the station and help them look for the bear.
You guys really love what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah, we love finding the mauled corpses of young campers. The bearded hat police are scouring the woods looking for the bear. Killer bear in the woods, likes to eat young girls. I know! I'll take off my clothes and go for a swim. Kelly's lamenting the death of the ranger, and Allison is being sarcastic.
Boy, there's something I'm not doing.
Sure. You're not killing the bear.
Kelly gets Don to take him up in the helicopter to look for the bear. They think they see the bear, but it's actually Scotty. He's been living up in the woods with deer for weeks. I'm sure he smells terrific. Scotty tells them the grizzly they're looking for is 15 feet tall and at least 2,000 pounds, and possibly 1,000,000 years old.
Well, he was a hardy ancestor that managed to hang in there.
What the hell's a 1,000,000-year-old grizzly doing here?
At the local campground, nothing I can say is better than this guy's expression. So Mr. Mustache thinks he's going to get laid, but the bear has other plans. 2,000-pound grizzlies are the stealthiest beasts. Kittredge is mad at Kelly, so he puts a bounty out on the bear, and dozens of hunters flock the woods looking for him. That grizzly is as safe as could be. I'm sure these hunters will end up shooting each other. We now return to the world's dumbest hunters, already in progress. There's a killer bear out there, and all 3 of you guys are asleep. Not one of you stayed up for watch. The camp gets invaded by the cutest little bear. Alright, if years of National Geographic have taught me anything, it's that if you see a baby bear, the mama bear is not too far off. Smart guys. They tie up the cub, thinking it'll bring the other bear, which it does, but not how they expected. Kelly, Scotty, and Don break off from the other hunters to search for the bear. Only they walk about 10 feet over. Are they even trying?
Let's keep it quiet, okay?
Don tells the story of a herd of bears, that killed a tribe of Indians. The next day, Tom's up in the tower looking at footage from yesterday. From his vantage point, he can't see a 15-foot bear. Kelly and Don arrive too late.
How do you think this bear thing is being handled?
Okay, I guess. They kept the bear away from here, and that's what counts.
How do you feel about my mustache? Kelly's telling Kittredge his plan to catch the bear. Contractor, no, I will not bow to any sponsor. Kittredge refuses to close the park, so Kelly turns the acting up to 11.
You don't give a good goddamn if we get that grizzly or not. As long as you get your press, so you can go to Washington and get one of those nice dark brown plastic offices. Get out! Well, you just lost your office. Because when I finish with you, there's not going to be anybody there waiting to shake your greasy, bloody hand. You are finished, dismissed, removed! Up yours.
Scotty goes off on his own to hunt the grizzly. The next day, the grizzly's stalking this kid. Let's see, what year was this again? 1976? Yeah, that kid is as good as dead. Also, please note, this is a PG movie. Now that the bear killed a kid, Kittredge closes the park and lets Kelly do what he needs to get the bear. He gets with Don and loads up the helicopter with lots of guns, and for good measure, a rocket launcher. Standard park ranger issue, I'm sure. Scotty's tracking the bear. Even though the thing's the size of a truck, it still manages to sneak up on him. He kills Scotty and buries him for dinner later. I can't believe it! I'm alive! Well, let me just look around. All right, I don't see the bear anywhere. Let me just crawl out of here and... Aw, crap! By the time Kelly and Don get there, Scotty is really dead. They sweep the forest again looking for the grizzly.
It's incredible. It's a program, like some kind of damn computer.
The bear's a robot now? They find him in a clearing, so they head down after him. The bear attacks the helicopter, which knocks out Dan, and he kills him. Kelly shoots him with his rifle, clearly forgetting that he has a rocket launcher. Oh, finally! Jen'll bend my ass! The movie was filmed in a real park, the National Forest in Rabun County, Georgia. They got the okay to film there, but they had to do it in the off-season, winter. It was freezing cold, so for many of the scenes, the actors had to put ice in their mouths so you couldn't see their breath, since it was still supposed to be late summer. A few times it snowed, and the crew had to arrive early to melt the snow off the trees. The lodge in the film wasn't a set. It was the real lodge from the campground. It was also where the cast and crew lived during the entire shoot. For the scenes in the cockpit of the helicopter, they loaded the helicopter into a hangar. The actors sat inside, and the crew shook them from side to side. For the POV bear shots, they had the cameraman standing on another guy's shoulders. The scene shortly after the first kill, where the group is sitting around a fire, was shot after filming was done. They needed to go back and film, but it was too far into winter, so they ran to a local skating rink and dressed it up to look like a forest. They didn't compensate enough for the fire, and it burned a hole through the skating rink floor, so they unfortunately had to pay for a new floor. The crew made all the bear noises, and they modified them in post. The bear they used was a Kodiak bear named Teddy. They used a Kodiak bear because it's the closest to a grizzly. They consulted with numerous naturalists to make sure their facts about the bears were accurate. The movie did well in the US, but it was huge in Tokyo. It was the highest-grossing independent film until Halloween knocked it out 2 years later. The score was done by famous composer Bob Ragland. Here he is in a cameo. Producer Harry Flaxman had a small part as the reporter. Allison was played by Joan McCall, who was married to the other producer of the film, David Sheldon. Years later, Joan McCall and David Sheldon wrote the sequel, Grizzly 2, The Concert. It revolved around this giant Woodstock-style concert that was invaded by a massive grizzly. They spent $7.5 million on the film, and it was almost finished when they ran out of money. Unfortunately, they needed that money to pay the people who had built the animatronic bear that they were going to use for the final scenes. Since they didn't have the money, the company disassembled the bear, and the scenes were never shot. There's a copy of the unfinished film that leaked a few years ago. I'm surprised nobody tried to finish the film since it was Charlie Sheen and George Clooney's first movie. The original Grizzly is often accused of ripping off Jaws. So much so that people often refer to it as Jaws on Land or Paws. While it does follow a lot of the same beats, the director swore the film was written before the movie release of Jaws. Anyway, it's a good movie that does get a little serious at times, but not too serious. Also, as I said, the movie was rated PG, and is yet another example of just how much they pushed the rating back then. Hey everyone, I just want to remind you I have a Patreon set up. If you like the show and would like to help keep me going, even $1 a month would make a difference. I would really appreciate it. I've got some cool rewards set up, so check it out. Thanks a lot.